What's up, Planning Center people? I am excited to announce data feeds. It's been out for a while, but now I'm ready to explain what data feeds is all about. A data feed is a snapshot of your data that is generated from the Planning Center API and then reformatted so that you can build your own reports and analytics dashboards. It is meant to be the ultimate tool for data nerds. This is my love letter to the spreadsheet ninjas everywhere. It is a wellspring to the exhausted church administrators. Okay, so maybe I'm overselling it a little bit, but imagine this. Your team needs a report with certain numbers. They want it in a very specific format because of reasons. And so there's a person who spends about 4 hours a month or 4 hours a week compiling and formatting and printing a report somewhere. And I built this for them. Data feeds will help that person do it in about 4 minutes instead of 4 hours. Then you go get a coffee and hang out with someone and do ministry. So let me illustrate this by showing you first how to create a data feed. To create a new data feed, we need to go to PCOchef.com and make sure we're logged in. Next, we're going to go to data feeds. And I'm going to scroll to the bottom here and let me delete this one because I just created that one. I'll click add a new data feed. I want to walk through the different types of data feeds very quickly. You'll see activity feeds and events feeds and totals feeds. Any feed that says activity is going to be one row per person's activity. So it's going to be very granular data. So check-ins people activity would be if Bob checked in, there's going to be one row for Bob, one row for Bob's son, one row for Julie. Like every single person would have one row and it would tell you what event they checked in, what time they checked in, etc. Check-in events is going to have one row per event. And the date would be the start time of the event. Giving donor totals is one row per donor. So you will also see the joint donations for that person. You'll see a joint donor ID and the joint people, the PCO ID of the joint donor so that you can break all those apart. Giving donor activity is going to be one row per donation that they have given with all the funds and the labels and stuff like that. People data is one row per person and it has all of the custom tabs as every bit of data you can get out of Planning Center people. Groups people activity is going to be one row per activity in groups. So if they attended a group, joined a group, those type of things. Group events is going to be one row per event in groups. And then sermons is one row per episode in sermons. I'll just pick that just because there's no real sensitive data there. So the start date is going to be the date of the episodes. So we'll pick that and let's do 201. Let's do 2012 and see how that goes. Publishing didn't exist back then, but it's okay. And they were going to do 01. No, I'm gonna do December 31st. We could do 2030. And then this feed will always update and I'll update it weekly. And I just need the last 3 months because we're probably not going to update anything after that. So that is how you create a data feed. To add the data feed to Google Sheets using the PCO Chef Google Sheets add-on, first we need an API key. So I'm going to click Add API Key and give it a description so I remember why I created this key. I'm going to call it Video Demo and save that key. And I'm going to come down here and show API keys again and copy this key. Then we go to Google Sheets, create a blank sheet and install the PCO Chef Google Sheet add-in. We're going to go to Get Add-ins and PCO Chef, and it will be right here. You just click install. I've already installed it. So now I can go to extensions, PCO Chef data feeds, and set API key. This is going to bring a pop-up and give me the option to paste in the API key for this. So this API key will be linked to this Google Sheet document. If you make a copy of this, it will not copy the API key. So it's pretty secure. Now I'm going to link the data feed that we just made with this Google Sheet. So say if I have multiple sheets along here, I can link a data feed to a sheet. So say I want sheet 3 to be linked to that publishing episodes data feed that we just created. I'm going to select link data feed. And from the drop-down box, I will select video demo, which is the last one we did, and select rename worksheet. I like to rename the worksheet because it makes it easy to keep track of what data feed is connected to what. And you can see it's named the exact same thing, video demo, as it was over here. So now I know that that's what that is. So to get the data, all I have to do is go to data feeds and import linked data feed. Import all linked data feeds will import all the data feeds if I link several. So if I go to, let's just show that. We're going to link a data feed to sheet 4 here. Let's just do, let's see, groups, people, activity. That should be fun. We'll submit that. Now when I do import all linked data feeds, it will import the data from both of these data feeds and dump it into the spreadsheet. And it's all ready to use. Then, since they'll be updating regularly, anytime you open the sheet, you just go to extensions and grab the new data. And if you accidentally edit this data, no problem. You could just import the linked feed and it will replace everything that's in there with the current live data that we have stored in the data feed. And that is how you connect and link data feeds to Google Sheets using the Planning Center or PCO Chef Google Sheet added. I want to show one more example of how this data feeds Google Sheets integration is really helpful. So here I have a church that has reports set up in Google Sheets. They have all kinds of reports for averages. We have these averages. They show awesome little charts and graphs and everything so they can keep track of stuff. And this is all generated based off of this data tab. And the data tab, you can see, is a whole lot of data that has to be entered manually every week. So what I did is I imported a groups feed and a check-ins feed because they get their attendance for some of their classes and groups through groups and some of it through check-ins. So then I was able to just write a formula to go and find this date. These are all Sundays over here. So find this date in the groups attendance by group sheet. We're going to filter by H. We're going to look at row H in this group. So that is the starts at date and time. Actually, we're filtering it to get just the date. And then we are comparing that with in this case, B347. It'll increment as it goes. So B347, 8, etc. And then we're going to insert the data that we find in the row where A matches 2094927. So if we look over here, that is the group ID 2094927. We sort this. We can sort sheet by column A. 4927 should be, I think it's high school. Yeah. So these are all the high schools. So there is a row for every single date in here. So we want to find the right date, find the right group ID, and then we get the data from column 12. So we count the columns 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 is L, and that is the total attendance. So if we wanted the leaders or anything else, we could get that data. So then I went through, I found what group IDs match up. Once we created this formula, we just create it once and then copy it across the entire thing. And then just change the group IDs to match whatever they have in here already. And now, from now on, all they have to do is do PCO Chef, import all linked data feeds, and it will grab the latest information from the data feeds from Planning Center through PCO Chef, and it will fill in the information. Up here, you can see it's running the little calculations and it fills in the latest data. So if somebody goes back in time and fixes their attendance because they forgot to record it, you can just import the link and it's all set, saving hours and hours of work and just really boring labor. So that is how you can adapt some of your current reports using data feeds to make it automated. I am really excited about data feeds because I think it's going to help churches do more ministry, less paperwork. That's what it's all about for me, is automating things that are tedious and boring so that you can get out and get that cup of coffee and hang out with people and do the kind of stuff that we all wanted to do when we decided to work in ministry. So data feeds can connect to just about any web service out there. It can do JSON, it can do CSV, it can do Excel files. If there's a web service you want to connect to and you're not sure how, send me a support request. I will help you get it connected and then write documentation for other churches. If there's other data feed types you want, let me know. I'm excited to build more data feeds. And I think this is going to be a foundation that we're going to be able to build on in the future. So more about that coming soon, hopefully. Okay, thank you so much for watching this, and I hope data feeds helps you do more ministry, less paperwork.